Hello, my name is Kyle Sorensen. I am with Charlie Thompson, and we're going to present our course project group presentation for exercise number 8. We are the Triad Dynasty. Before we get started, we want to give a shout out to Grace, who unfortunately can't be here with us because of family issues. Without her, we wouldn't be able to get any of this done. So shout out to Grace. So the story of the Triad Dynasty. So it's been 100 years since the 2020 pandemic that spread across the globe. The earth is deteriorating, civilization is deteriorating, the environment is almost unlivable for humans, fisheries have died out, temperatures keep rising, and humanity is on its last legs. Our story begins in Los Angeles, where the Triad meets. So Kyle is running a EMT surplus store, and one of his customers is Charlie. And one day, Grace, who is researching problems on Earth, runs across the two at Kyle's store, and a fateful meeting that will change the course of human history forever. We knew that it was too far gone to save Earth, and fortunately, at the time, a planet called Eden 2 was discovered, which is almost exactly like Earth in every way. And it's habitable for humans, and there were projects to explore this new planet. So, knowing that humanity, if they were to undertake this endeavor to go to Eden 2, they would probably fail like they've failed on Earth so many times. So Grace, Kyle, and Charlie took it upon themselves to explore and colonize Eden 2. So we did this by using our expertise in various fields to come up with a plan, and then we would use different trade policies and undercut different governments to get our resources that we needed. We spearheaded this thing, and we were able to grab enough people to come along with us, and then we went to Eden 2, which humanity needed in order to survive. By the gods, our system of government goes back to the roots of human civilization. We rule as a theocratic monarchy. Our government system is very centralized. The Triad, which is Grace, Kyle, and Charlie, control just about every form of governance on Eden 2. We do this because democracy has failed. As gods, we are obligated to lead humanity to prosperity on Eden 2. Theocratic monarchies go back to ancient Egypt, and this system ruled for 3,000 years in ancient Egypt. So if it can work for 3,000 years back in antiquity, we know that it can work for us. And we needed that heavy hand because of humanity's selfishness. Our environment was destroyed on Earth because of people's inability to see past themselves and not work for one greater good. So, being gods, we will give humanity that heavy-handed approach and guide them to prosperity. So our government organization really needs to, first of all, be created through a constitution. And in our constitution, we have 3 commandments that go back to our core values and is how we do set up our governance. The first commandment is perfect balance and harmony. So for this, we have our education and indoctrination put into this. Our financial institutions are put into this commandment. And finally, our education, like I said, are put into this. So commandment 2 is order. So this is, if we go to our organization chart, this is our health and wellness, our administration and worship, and then we go to our truth and justice system, which is our law system. So we have our tribunal set up, our ETH administration, which is a ancient Egyptian style prison and re-education in our case. And then we have our citizenship and our defense administration. So going with those three commandments, this is how we set up our government. Uh, we hold as a triad the ultimate authority, and all decisions are finalized through us. And if something needs to change, we demand it, and it happens. So we have a pyramid point system, as you can see with our organization chart. So we are at the top of the pyramid, and then we have administrators who oversee each commandment and in practice each system within our government. Uh, our administrators are chosen by us, and they are our most loyal subjects. Underneath them, they have other administrators who work in specific areas. Order and balance, they have education, indoctrination, the environment, and quality assurance. And then truth and justice, they have their tribunals, the prisons, and our defense administration. And then same thing with the harmony system. We have our health and wellness, triad, and ombudsman. And underneath them are the citizens. Now we set up our government in a way that all the citizens will be taking a test uh, throughout their lives, and through these tests, they will be placed in needed areas of our society. If we are lacking plumbers, we find the most qualified plumbers who tested and showed aptitude for that, and then we place them in that role. And that's like that with every other job and role in our society. Everything that we do is for the betterment of our society, and where we place our people is for the betterment of our society. And we do this because we do not want to go back to what happened on Earth, where our environment was destroyed and humanity was basically on its last legs. And with that, I'm going to hand it off to Charlie, where he's going to present his half of the slides.
All right. So as stated earlier, each agency will have a director. Each director of that agency will appoint a leader, or administrator, if you per se. Each administrator will have the power to oversee with 100% authority over their respective field and program. Leaders are um, leaders have the power to formulate sub leaders under them. The leaders, they will answer to the directors. Directors answer to the triad gods. Um, all right, Kyle, next slide. And that was just regarding like more depth into our administrators and leadership positions. Okay. Regarding the leaders assigned to their respective fields and programs by the directors, there's not any limitation in which the triad gods are implementing. The person with the authority to override a leader's decision will be the director of the field that falls into the agency. Of course, the triad gods have full authority over everything if we wish to exercise that power. Go ahead, next slide. Okay. And regarding our citizens, they do have roles in our society. Indeed, the citizens of our godlike lands do indeed vote, as well as play a part in the decision-making process. Additionally, they play a major role in the operations of our lands. Citizens are given the right to vote in their directors for each agency. So, when Kyle said earlier, that we choose the administrators, we actually have the final say. So the people, they will vote for their respected director. That director would get chosen as a candidate by us by popular vote, and then we choose the administrator. However, the um our day to day godlike operations, as each job each citizen performs is very crucial in our prosperity and success. Right. Okay. So when we were establishing this new government, aiding to a government public policy issue didn't arise. It's a common issue amongst many nations. It's um it's the issue regarding immigration. We as the triad gods and rulers gather their most intelligent and worthy advisors to discuss this matter. We to analyze it and to introduce a method to the public to resolve the matter. Um, Essentially, es- essentially, we after careful analyzing and discussion with our high and mighty advisors, we came up with a solution that would both um, that would benefit the Triad Dynasty as well as satisfy the new incoming immigrants. Go ahead, next slide. And regarding references, we didn't these were not applicable since since we did not use any outside resources for our PowerPoint slides.
Yeah, and this will conclude our presentation. Thank you very much for listening to our presentation, and thank you very much for the class. Again, another shout out to Grace, who couldn't be here with us. Without her, we wouldn't be able to do any of this. So,
Yes,
shout out to Grace.
thank you for all for listening. If you have any questions, just email us. And like Kyle said, unfortunately, Grace couldn't be here due to some emergency issues in which she had to handle. But she still helped us out when she can, and we're very grateful for that.